Hi guys, Corporal6 here, and Season 5 has landed. This season promises to bring new chaos to Europa Island. There have been remodels, layout changes, new characters, and new vehicles. First, let's talk about the map changes. The most significant remodel has been to Windsor Village. That has been completely changed into the new spaceport. I mean, I never went to Windsor Village anyway, and I expect neither did you, so this breathes some new life into the area. The main structure in the area is flipping enormous. There are plenty of hangars and buildings around to accommodate and equip a couple of squads for some early game scrimmage to get things warmed up. Next up is the latest addition to Fisherman's Town. Some houses have been levelled, not that their occupants had much to say about it, for the construction of the new hospital. This sprawling building offers a new reason to come to the other side of Fisherman's Town, as there's now plenty of loot and loads of angles inside and out with which to surprise an opponent. The top of the hospital is also just a bit taller than the cinema, which, by the way, is still there despite it seeming to be missing from the trailer video, so you can, with a good enough weapon, pester anyone camping the top with some long-range sniping. There doesn't appear to be a particular abundance of first aid kits though, and no revive ability either, so we'll have to wait and see what the devs do on that front. The other major change to the island is in Artaud City. I was a bit surprised at this. Artaud has been my main choice of spawn location for a while, and I always thought it to be a well-balanced area. However, that hasn't stopped the city planners bowing to some rich and powerful owner who wanted to flatten the east side of town for their mansion. And such a pretty house and gardens it is too, complete with plenty of loot and a great view over the town. In town, the record shop has been replaced with a bar. This is actually an improvement, as the record shop always had limited visibility, and this makes the area much more appealing as a location. Annoyingly, the barns are gone. These were great as they'd often be on the edge of a zone change, but I guess new strategies must emerge to fit the new buildings. Oh, and have you noticed that a few of the buildings have had an interior designer in? I'm not sure I agree with the choice of wallpaper, but the fact that the buildings themselves are no longer just cookie cutter copies is definitely an investment from the devs to improve playability. There have also been some smaller quality of life adjustments around the map. The shipyard, castle, seafood village and the harbour have all had slight remodels or little adjustments made. Some are barely noticeable unless you're looking for them, but the biggest change is the removal of some of the hitboxes on smaller trees. Driving just got a lot easier. That's not to say there aren't still bugs and issues. The transparent but bullet blocking walls and railings and the getting stuck on curb edges etc. are improvements that we're still waiting for in the pipeline. Right, let's check out the new characters next. We know that there's 3, Edmund, Friday and Alice. Edmund and Friday are available already, but we know very little about Alice. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. I can see she's unlockable at level 44, so I've got a while to go yet. Friday is an interesting choice of character. The first thing I've noticed since playing the new patch is that his face is incredibly visible if you're peeking a rooftop. Maybe not the best choice. And Edmund, well, for those that wanted Dion back, what better hint could you get than a character literally dressed for Arctic conditions? The question is definitely a when rather than an if for that one. I'll fill in some more detail on Alice when we have it, but for now the closest we get is this preview image from in-game. Thank you to KaiChol11 for submitting this to Reddit. Next up then, let's talk about vehicles. My last video was on the Season 4 vehicles as I knew this change was coming, but what's actually happened? Firstly, 2 new cars in the game, the ATV and the armoured truck. Nothing spectacular in themselves. The ATV is very similar to the mini SUV or buggy, and the armoured truck is obviously well protected but is now the slowest vehicle in the game. But there is a new item, a magical item, a wondrous item that brings just a sprinkle of madness into the game, the vehicle modification kit. This item can be used on some of the vehicles in the game to upgrade them to battle cars, adding more health, cool destroyable armour and new features. The SUV, or 4x4, turns into the Pulverizer, with some terrifying looking blades on the front. These are constantly running and will significantly damage anything in front of the car, making light work of destroying other vehicles. It does not allow for terrain objects to be destroyed though, unfortunately, which is a shame for all those annoying little fences that are dotted about. The mini SUV or buggy has a user-activated radar on top. This scans for a short time similar to the endgame radar. You get 3 pings that activate over a period of time as you're driving around. This allows you to spot if anyone is close by in a building. If you're spotted by this radar, you get an alert, so it's not completely overpowered and you know if someone is using it to locate you. The car has been left with MI6's Q branch, it seems, as now in true James Bond style it can go invisible. Any damage taken to the car or any action taken by any of the passengers cancels the ability, but if you're looking to pass through a potentially busy area without drawing all the attention, this is a good choice. One thing I've noticed is that it seems to drive worse than it did before. Might just be me, but it definitely feels like it's more clunky than it used to be. The ATV brings a touch of Rocket League to the ring. Boosters are a go. These are great for escaping a hot zone or just for blasting sick jumps off any small hill. User activated and on a recharge, they are absolutely crazy. The pickup truck or off-roader is hilariously nuts. Firstly, here's a clip from my duos buddy Colonel Koo, where we're playing duos versus squads.
Vehicle behind us. Oh my god, that was brilliant.
And if that doesn't explain it well enough, well, here's something else that makes this vehicle completely OP. The spawn location for the barrels is behind the car. This means for a number of buildings, you can reverse up to it and let rip. The barrels appear inside the building and immediately explode. Absolute madness. I am literally loving this vehicle, driving it around and dropping barrels, causing mayhem everywhere. The armoured truck is an interesting vehicle, heavy and slow, but upgraded to its battle car version, it now has a bloody turret on top. This thing makes short work of pretty much anything and is totally overpowered. It's balanced only by the rarity of actually finding one. Oh, I almost forgot. The RPG. This thing is crazy. It is as loud as... I mean, you can hear it from so far away, it's insane. It also does a crap ton of damage to a vehicle. It's not one hit kill as that would be OP, but 2 hits of this thing will take out almost any vehicle and its occupants. It's a weird weapon though, as at the moment it doesn't do enough damage to players. Not sure that's intentional, as I'm pretty sure if someone shot me with an RPG, well, let's say there's no chance of all the King's men putting me back together again, that's for sure. As always, if you liked this video, be sure you smash those like and subscribe buttons, and I hope to see you on the battlefield for Season 5.